these wheels in motion. Defend your lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh, darling, you say that you are innocent, but your words, they seem irrelevant, but still play on. Now it's time to defend your lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh, darling, you have reached your lover's end. No more will we make pretend like we something to fight for. Oh. We had nothing to fight for. We had nothing to fight for. We had nothing to fight for. We had nothing to fight for.
Good evening, race fans. I'm having a fuck ton of technical difficulties. Bear with me. Everything's literally just gone tits up in the last couple of minutes. That's why I stopped the timer early, because I might have to fix something. Hello, chat. lot of you out there. Not usually this busy this early on. Talk amongst yourselves while I fix more problems. I probably should have just stayed offline and did it, but I needed to get cracking anyway. What are we here for? We're here for the Community Team Championship 2024, match day 1, race number 1, and it's Team A versus Team B. It's not Team A versus Team B, it's Team RA versus ART. Race Asylum versus the Amigos racing team. Holy shitballs, this is going very slowly. I hope I don't have to stop the broadcast. That would be a little bit rubbish, wouldn't it? I might have to do this manually because my Steam Deck's stopped working. Stupid piece of shit. How are we all, chats? Who we got in here? Let's say hello to some people. Oh shit! Everything I've tried to open, just opened all at once on my screen. Fire Jager, how you doing? Nick, Sonic. Oh my God, there's so many of you. Couch Racer. Who else is there? Ray, hello Ray. Toby, Jazz, Wabbit, Sonic. Phil Seck, how you doing, Phil? Yes, hello everybody. Right, let me see why this is not working. It's working now. There we go. Solved. Hopefully, we don't have too many problems. It's raining! It's raining. Right, so, anyone that doesn't know, Community Team Cup works a little bit like this. There are 10 teams, and they all chucked the name in the hat and went, pick me. Everyone paid for, no, they didn't. They picked 14 cars. Everyone picked 14 tracks. They put them all in a hat and shook them about. And then essentially what they do is each month they have a race that goes right the way through to October. And then the top 4 teams go into a playoff. And then the best team stands at the end with their hands in the air and say, yeah, boy, I'm the winner. Or something along those lines. But tonight we've got the Race Asylum first pick, which is Suzuka. Love this racetrack. What an awesome racetrack Suzuka is. 5.8 kilometres or 3.6 miles for those of you that use real money. 18 turns, 40 metre elevation, and it's pissing down, which is always good when you're doing Suzuka. Always good for a crash. And they have picked the BRZ. Am I right? I didn't pick the name right, I think they picked the BRZ. Yeah. Anyway, I did this thing. Hang on. If I can find it. There you go, match day 1. Yeah, it was indeed the Honda BRZ that has been picked for tonight. Oh, sorry, not the Honda BRZ. Such an idiot. Do you know what? Long day, man, long day. A Subaru BRZ at Suzuka. I'm thinking Honda because it's Suzuka, isn't it? And then following that, we'll then have ART's pick, which is the Toyota 86 at Autopolis. Not a big fan of Autopolis, but you'll hear me slag it off plenty when we're racing there. Everyone hear me okay? Testing. Right. Yeah, small tech issue. Yeah, I'm having a small tech issue. I don't know what happened. Everything was working fine, and then I don't know. I think it's working all right now. Hope so. Anyone might find out, I suppose. You get on with it. I did notice something actually. I want to point this out. Right. Let me find it because that's the lineup for tonight. Is the mic still working now? Well, at least it's pretty. That's the main thing. I'm assuming the mic's working. I'm hoping the mic's working again. We'll soon find out. Yeah, that's the teams for tonight. So, yeah, 10 times over. That's kind of the plan, really. I'm basically just a ball shouty bloke, so that's what I do, a shout. So there's your teams. You've got the RA team. They're rated at 75. Essentially, it's kind of like your FIFA card, is that they put all the drivers in a little hat and everyone gets a little ranking, and then you add up all the rankings and that gives you the little score in the circle. So the Team RA is ranked at 75. That's Baz, Larry Birch, Little Nicky, ATB4, Toby and Asylum Racer. And then ranked at 77 for the Amigos racing team, Boop to Boy, Mad Lad on a Pad, Matt, Ryan is Badgeno, Ginnaquinny and Hockers. I did notice, right, that the ART team kind of looks like a sentence you'd hear in Top Boy or, you know, sitting on a bus in Croydon. Yeah, right as bad, you know, mad lads on a pad, boop da boy, and that kind of thing. Well, anyway. Now I've culturally appropriated and I'm going to get arrested. We'll move on, shall we? That's how the grid looks anyway. I think we're starting in about 5 or 6 minutes. I peaked a little early, didn't I? What can I tell you about Suzuka? It's good. It's got an elevator change about 40 metres. It is an awesome racetrack. Shall we see if anyone's out there? And then we'll have a little, we'll have a little on board, shall we? There we go. Let me get rid of that. Ooh, pretty, isn't it? Look, like I did thin colours at the bottom. It's pretty. Right. It's a very different racetrack when it's wet than when it's dry, I've got to say. As you can see, Cuzzy is showing us exactly. I want to change the driver names to online IDs. Maybe that's better. Yeah, let's do it for online IDs. That's better because then it kind of marries up with what we got on the list. Yeah, it's very slippy, slidey out there today. So I think RA have picked a good one here. Because I think they pick all of the settings and all of the bits and pieces, and then obviously it goes the other way around, and then we do it all again next week with other cars. In terms of the cars picked, that's what we can go through. Actually, we can go through the rulebook. So every team picked 14 tracks. A few tracks were excluded, such as the dirt tracks and that stupid Lake Louise, which is nothing but a vanity project for some really cool designers. Special Route X, which is for 15-year-olds who like to stick engine swap in. Northern Isles Speedway, which is pointless. The two Willow Springs tracks of Streets of Willow and Horse Thief Mile, as we go back into the lobby, of course. Which, to be fair, is probably a good idea because the only decent Willow Springs track, as everyone knows, is Big Willow. What else we got? What else was excluded? BB Raceway and Nürburgring and Nordschleife, etc., etc. I'm assuming that that long track is being reserved for something else, possibly. In terms of cars, they had to pick one GR1, one GR2, two 4 GR3s, two front-wheel drive, two rear mid-engine. Two rear-wheel drive, two mid-engines, I'll say. 2, 3, 4 GR4s, one of each. A GRB, which is strange, bearing in mind that we can't have a dirt or snow track. Odd. And 3 road cars. If nobody picked that awesome 911 thing that just came out, that should be a GR3 car, then I don't know why. So there we go. So that's essentially what goes on. This will go through essentially once a month. We'll be doing this. Straight up after this as well, there is another match-up, another couple of teams going at it, and then another 4 teams go at it tomorrow, I think. I think there's another 2 races tomorrow, or something along those lines. But it goes all the way through to the end of October, and then we have a look at the table, and the top 4 teams go into the playoffs semi-final on the 22nd and 23rd of November, and then the Grand Champion head-to-head Grand Final will be on the 24th of November, when we'll find out who are the men and who are not the men. Yeah, you're damn right it's been picked because it's an awesome car. Don't we all love it moist? Apparently so, Urban Fire. Apparently so, although I've been told at our age it's not the done thing. Especially when you have so many children, as I do. Yeah, it is a very Japanese affair today, isn't it? Very Japanese affair with Suzuka and Octopolis and the Japanese cars that alongside it. Is a Japanese car, isn't it? Of course, it's a Toyota. Right, so we're just waiting for qualifying, which I think is about 2 minutes' time. Settings. Let's go through what the settings are. I didn't actually put them on the screen, which I probably should have done, but I didn't. So let's not bother with that. I've had to shut down Discord for the time being. I will open it back up, and what we'll do at the end of the race, this is right at the end, not in between. Right at the end is we'll get some of the winners into a little chatty chat. So if you were in the top 3 in this race, remember, and then come and join me for a chat at the end of the broadcast, and we'll talk about how much I've abused you over the course of a race. So I haven't got the settings up in front of me because I shut down Discord because of my technical issues. I'm sure it'll sort itself out. I have a feeling actually one of the kids upstairs had gone off the family internet and hopped onto mine. Can anyone hear that whimpering? It sounds like a cat in the background. Believe it or not, it's not my cat. It's my daughter's dash-hound dog meowing at the cat for attention like a weirdo. Shut up. I think everybody's here. I didn't realise Nick was racing today. He's like big. He's in the other RA team, the esports RA team. So yeah, but well, look, it's going to be an interesting race because I know that every single person in this room is, well, certainly quicker than me. We'll see. We'll see how this pans out. Very evenly matched in terms of score, of course, 75 and 77 on the ratings card. Any predictions from the crowd? There's a lot of you out there, so you might as well get involved. Any predictions from you guys? Anyone you think is going to stand out? Shall we go for how many crashes you're just RD race directoring? I was looking at RDing. What the fuck is RDing? That kind of makes sense. Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. What do we think? Do we think Suzuka's going to be decided by whether or not they can keep it on the track? Oh, that's nothing actually. There is a tyre. I didn't mention it. You probably already know if you're watching. Yeah, it's going right. Yeah, you think it looks that way. There is a tyre requirement for each race meet. Now that's across the 2 races, and it's per person, of course. They're allowed 2 racing softs, 2 racing mediums, 1 set of racing hards, 2 intermediates, and 2 wets. That is their maximum allocation across both races. And it's a carryover. So if, for instance, you have a driver that's represented you in race number 1 and gets swapped out for race number 2, that tyre allocation carries over. They don't get a new tyre allocation because that would be cheating. So here we go. Qualifying to start RA to go first. Bearing in mind it's their selection. Looking forward to this. I think it's going to be quite close, to be fair. There's a couple of drivers. I mean, obviously Basil, Nicky, we know they're quick. Larry Birch, we know he's pretty swift. Mad Lad on a pad. Hockers, they're all very, very capable drivers. So, yeah, we'll see. And I think it is one. Is it one lap qualifying? Someone clarify that for me. 47 crashes. There you go, Sonic. You have just given yourself the task of counting them. If you've watched one of my broadcasts before, you know I'm going to. If there's 47, I will miss 45 of them because I'll be doing something else, or I'll be talking about the argument I had with the oven repairman, or I don't know, scratching something. No, I think it's going to be really close. I'm quite glad you gave me this one over the other one. Not that the other 2 teams aren't good, but yeah, I quite like these. 19. I think that's it. I think 19's not a bad shout for a half-hour race. Yeah, I think the rain is going to have a big deciding factor here, because pace often, you know, on a dry race, pace is going to decide who's the big man on campus. But I think when you've got a situation like this where it's wet, it's easy, even for the best drivers, to make a little mistake. And it's going to be down to finding a decent line round and not dying round spoon, essentially. So there we go. We are in. We are ready to go. I hate having to do this every single time. It's just so bloody annoying. Ginner. Who's out first? Who's out first? Who's jumped first? I've got a keyboard. Use your keyboard, Andy. There we go. It's Lil Nicky. Who's got TikTok? Apparently, I've been reliably informed, which is good to watch. So go and watch Little Nicky's TikTok. Don't do it yet because you're busy watching me. But in fact, listen to me and look at his TikTok. Yeah, no, you're right, Russell. You know, I'm not. Listen, I don't commentate because I'm a source of knowledge. I commentate because I'm able just to waffle absolute rubbish for an hour and fill it. I don't actually come out with any reliable facts or anything. I don't tell you anything you don't know. The only time there'll be something you don't know is if you're listening and not watching, and I tell you that someone's overtaken someone. Right, so we're away. Little Nicky's out first. It's going to be RA to qualify first. They get 5 minutes to set their hottest lap. And with it being Suzuka, there's only going to be 2 hot laps here for 5 minutes. The track is currently dry and quali. I've got this, but what I should have done is I should have made it bigger so we could have a look at the track thingy. I'm not going to. I wonder if I can do it now. Let me play with it. Let me play with it and see if I can squeeze it in. It's going to look a bit weird in the box though. Hang on, hold the line caller. Watch this, on the fly. On the fly. I don't think I can. No, I can't fix it while it's live. You got what you got. So there we go. I can see it. I can tell you at the moment the track is fully dry. Right, let's go on board, shall we? That one. Love a right-hand drive car. That's the correct side for a steering wheel, by the way. So into the reliably named turn 1, or first turn, into the S's. This is turn 3, 4, 5. Which is tricky. It's all about throttle control, feathering that throttle through here, just little taps of a brake just to get the rotation in the car. Nothing too drastic through here before you get up to this sweeping left-hander where you can get on that power and head down toward Denga Curve, which is here. This right-hander, you're looking for that board, that 50-metre board, get it turned in down to 4th gear. Again, dropping down now for 3rd, 2nd gear. Get the rotation, use all that curb, don't go too far off. You can't touch that curb too much when it is raining. Sweeping up towards the hairpin. Another aptly named corner, and very tricky part of the circuit here, especially when it's wet. On the power again, you're sweeping round at full pelt through the gears, round to the right hand side, up to Spoon. This is the highest part of the racetrack. Breathe deeply, my friends, breathe deeply. Spoon is the double apex left-hander. It is one corner, but you kind of got the 2 apexes. This is key though, because you've got a massively long run now down to 130R. This is where slipstream is going to play a massive part of the strategy here. You want to get tucked in behind the car you're trying to overtake. Use that slipstream, get under that wing. And you've got to get it done before you get here. Don't try and make the overtake through 130R. Someone will die. Down into the Cascade Triangle. Hard on those brakes. Big braking zone. Sweep it right. Sweep it left. Get the car under control. And then on the power you go and head across that start-finish line. And that is a lap around Suzuka. Presented by Lil Nicky. Right, there we go. So Lil Nicky, ironically, puts himself on pole. Ahead of TB4. Baz in 3rd. We've got Larry Birch yet to go. He's going to cross the line. Where's he going to end up? He's 2014. He's behind Ginnaquini. And Ginnaquini, I understand, is from ART, just to make things really freaking complicated. Yeah, why has he got some of the ART guys further back? It's just confusing me. Right, but at the moment, Little Nicky looking really racy. 1.1 seconds clear. One thing I will say about this championship that's really good, and it's a shame we couldn't get a team together for this, is that you aren't restricted. You don't just put in all your A+ drivers and blast the opposition out of the water. You have to have a selection of drivers across different speeds and abilities. So you've got quite a balanced team. And I think it's important. I think it's good as well. It's good for teams, particularly big teams like RA, like ART, that have a lot of kind of mid players, mid field racers that don't necessarily get the opportunity to get out there and race along with the big boys. But at the moment, Little Nicky is the man to beat Well, that's 1:59.6. No one else sub 2 minute yet. That's TB4, who, as it stands, will be joining him on the front row. Baz currently third. The ART guys now coming out for the outlap as the Race Asylum guys are. Oh, was that rate and regulation dropped? Oh, that's a bit rubbish. We'd be probably actually we'd be in pretty good stead actually, because I think our struggle is that we didn't have enough not rubbish drivers, that's the wrong expression, but enough slow drivers up for it to put in. I think that was the issue we had, and then obviously I wasn't about at the end of the year and stuff, so yeah, stuff going on. Right, so the Race Asylum boys are all gonna disappear and pop into the pits, and it's now down to ART to give us some lap times. Asylum Racer, he is just going to finish up his lap. Ryan is Budgeon. He's on his out lap at the moment, so we won't get any times from them just yet, but 5 minutes qualifying for them. Robust encouragement. Yeah, I like that. Next time I'm shouting at one of my kids, I'm going to call it robust encouragement. While Ryan is back, you know, I've literally just got to run and do something very quick. Back in 2 seconds. My kids are pricks. Basically, my boys live in a house at the bottom of my garden I built for them. You know, I don't live in a mansion or nothing. It's a tiny little garden, but I was sick of having the smelly bastards in the house, so I built them like a little house at the bottom of the garden. But they have this really annoying habit of coming in, going for a piss, and leaving the back door open because they think it's funny. So yeah, I just want to shut the back door. So here we go. He's now on his hot lap. Ryan is Budgeon. I'm not going to call him that all day. I think we'll just go with Ryan. I'm assuming that's his name, unless he's making a statement about somebody he knows, which I suppose is entirely possible. Hocker's out there as well. Hocker's will be next to set time. So the target is to go sub 59. Little Nicky with that 1:58.9 is an absolutely phenomenal lap. It's going to take some beating, that I can tell you. Especially when you consider that there's almost a second difference between them there. So that's the target. I'm a bit torn here because I look at the teams in the competition, and of course, of the 10 teams, I know of all 10 teams in one way or another. But of the teams, I think I probably have the closer relationship, or Black Flag certainly has a closer relationship with Race Asylum and with ART. So these are kind of like my. I actually don't. To be honest, I don't give a toss who wins. As long as I tell you what wins, sim racing wins. There we go. GT7 driving wins. No, I genuinely, I can't pick. I can't pick a winner out of these. Can't. Looking forward to seeing there's some new boys out there. ZFS, I think they're racing tomorrow. I'm actually doing their World Series at the moment as well. So I happen to know some very, very tidy drivers among the ZFS massive, for want of a better expression. Trying to move my keyboard to a more convenient position. You'd think I've been doing this long enough that I'll be better organised. I usually am. Right, so third, that's where we are at the moment with ART. So it's Little Nicky from Baz. They're your front row as it stands. Ryan is Budgeon, comes in and heads up row 2 alongside TB4. There's Hockers. He has set a 2 minute flat, or 2 minute 0.9. So at the moment, nobody other than Little Nicky gone sub 59. Ginner Quinny. Do you know how many times I had to practice saying that today, because I kept calling him Ginger when I saw the names. I don't like to mess people's names up. I wish that dog had stopped whining. I was calling him Ginger, but it's not the time for that. So he's done a 2:01.0. Currently going to be alongside Hockers on row 3. Row 4 is locked out by Race Asylum with Mad Lad on a pad, or Mad as we're going to call him, in 9th with Matt alongside him in 10th. 11th, the boy. I think we're missing one, aren't we? Shouldn't there be 12? Are we missing one, or am I missing something? There should be 12, right? Did someone not qualify, or has someone backed out that I missed? Don't forget, if you like what you're seeing, click the like button and share. Share to all your friends. I want you to go through your address book now, and I want you to find everybody's email address that you've ever met, and I want you to send them this link for no other reason than you'll probably get your account shut down for spam. But there we go. So there we have it. This is how it's looking thus far. It's Race Asylum lockout for row 1. Ryan cannot, he does improve. He improves by just 1,000th of a second. He is on the second row. He's got TB4. No, he's not got TB4 because the mad lad on a pad, has managed to nick second row. So second row lockout. And then Ginner comes in, knocks his teammate down. He's on the second row now. Mad lad on pad heads up row 3 with TB4. Hocker's on row 4 alongside him. Row 5, should I say, with Larry Birch alongside him from the United States of America. Fuck yeah! Silent Racer, Matt, and then Boop the Boy. And I'm sure we're missing one. Yeah, because I'm sure it should be 12. There we go. Lil Nicky, Baz, that confirms it. That's 158.9. That's a super lap round here. Absolutely super. Yeah, one to watch, certainly. But listen, the weather will always come into play. Toby, there he is. So there was 12. Then I'm assuming he's coming back. I hope he is. I hope he's coming back. Don't leave us, Toby. Return to us. So there's going to be a minute or so while everyone gets their tyres sorted, and then the race begins. 30 minutes. I've just noticed something. It says race 1 lap. Has anyone else noticed that? This is going to go horribly wrong, isn't it? Oopsie. I think we're going to have a reset. We're going to have a reset, aren't we? Oh, wrong button, that one. I broke it. Yeah. I'm hoping that was a mistake that I've noticed, but we are away, and yeah, it does say 1 lap. So, what is the purpose of the 1 lap? I'm confused. Is that intentional? Hockers, man. Hockers, you literally had one job, man. The lobby's designed that way. Why is that? I'm confused. Oh, okay. I suppose that makes sense. If qualifying and race settings are totally different, yeah. Okay. Just to confuse matters slightly. Do you know what would help, right? Is if I actually did some proper research before broadcasting, so I actually knew what was going on. Yeah, he could have done, to be fair. He did it to mess with me, that's what it was. He did it to mess with me. So now it's going to be set by host, of course, as we all know. It's like I don't know what I'm doing today. You know, I haven't been sleeping, that's what it is. Dan, how we doing? That's the Dan of ZFS, who's they're up in action tomorrow. I don't know who they're racing, but it's going to be good, whoever it is. Right, so now I actually know what's going on. Now I've actually paid some attention. Thank you very, very much, guys, for keeping me in the loop. Now we know what's going on. It will be 30 minutes once the grid has been set. It's a front row lockout for Race Asylum. It's a second row lockout for ART. It's all to play for. Absolutely all to play for. We played AHR. Oh, Apex Hunter Racing, good side them. Yeah, well, to be fair, I've seen you guys race. I know you're more than capable of matching up with those guys. Absolutely more than capable. So change to race 1. So here we go. So we know it's going to be damp or moist. I know not a lot of people like that word. I don't care. It's going to be moist at some point. So it'll be interesting. It will be interesting to see how these guys cope with moistness. And yeah, we need little Nicky click the ticky. I don't even know it. Larry Birch needs to tick in, and TB4. Who else is not tickied? Oh my days, we've got some changes to make. He's getting sacked in the morning. Sacked in the morning. He's going to get sacked in the morning. Sacked in the morning. I'm only joking. You know I love you, Hockers, man. You know I love you. It's good, this, isn't it? I've got an anecdote, but I'm not gonna. I don't want to pop it out too early. I know we've got a bit of time to fill, but I was going to pop it out in between the races. I'm still going to do that. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to pop it out just yet because there is a bit of time between the races while everything gets sorted out, while we get lobby sorted and shizzle. But it is being reset. Weather's not looking good. Should we bring up the weather radar? I'm going to have a look at the weather radar. What's the weather saying? Well, it hasn't rained yet, but it looks very much like it will at some stage during this race. Yeah, it's you know what we need, King is we need if only there was a system where we could have the settings and save them and then just load those settings. I'm joking, Hockers. I'm joking, man. Why do married men die first? Because they want some peace and quiet? Am I right? Am I right? Do I want anything? I'm waiting to find out if I'm right. Well, Baz is ready. Everyone else seems to be ready. We'll have a look and see what tyres people are starting on. Remember, they've got yeah, Baz and Nicky are in the wrong place. Yeah. To be fair though, it's still easy to make mistakes.
You beat them, right?
Yeah, it's I did our World Championship last week, and between the sprint race and the feature race, I had to reverse the top six, and I just forgot and started the race. It was utterly ridiculous. Should you not be proud? You probably should be. Yeah. Right. I think well, it is now. Nicky is now top. Toby should be 9th. I should have taken a screenshot, shouldn't I? Really, and I could have shouted it out, but I didn't. It's because Toby left the room. That's why it got confusing, because if he's taken a screenshot of the finishing screen, Toby wouldn't have been on it because he'd left the room. So it is a bit confusing from that aspect. Stay in the room, people. You make people's lives so much easier if you do that. There we go. I think we're now fixed. So it's going to be Lil Nicky and Baz on the front row from Race Asylum. Ryan and Ginner on row 2 from Amigos Racing Team. TB4 and Hockers, they share row 3. Row 4 with Larry Birch and Toby, etc, etc, etc. We know what's going on now, don't we? Cool. Right. Everyone's ready. Everyone's in the correct place. Don't leave room. Yeah, tell them not to leave room. Yeah, good idea. You tell them, Hockers. Press that start button, boy. Let's get cracking. We've got a lot of racing to be getting on with. I suppose it's good we get all these little technical hitches out of the way in the first race, and then we can work out for the rest of the year what not to do wrong. Nicky on fire. Well, yeah, look, Being on fire is not that going to be that useful though if it gets wet, because it'll get put out. So here we go. Everyone's ticking ready. There we go. The race will begin shortly. 6 seconds is the countdown. And then we can finally get cracking. 30 minutes here at Suzuka. So about 15-ish laps of racing. Right, let's get this. Come on, PD. Sort this out so I don't have to do this every time. Please. Let's have a look back here and let's go here. And then we can see what happens into the very aptly named Turn 1. Don't get none of this rubbish at IRO, do you, Nick? That's 5 lights and we are away. Good luck to all of the drivers, both teams. Good start from everybody. How about at the back? Yeah, everyone pretty clean away thus far. Loving the liveries, of course. And into turn 1 they go. Hocker's making a move around the outside of TB4. There's a couple of cars off the racetrack. Shall we have a look and see what happens to those dudes? I'm trying to work out who it was that went off. I think it was some of these guys here, maybe. Oh, it looks like Baz took a little clumping and he went off, and so did Quinny. So not a great start from those guys. They're going to have to try and fight their way back through the field. And Quinny, Ginner Quinny is way back in last place. Little Nicky avoids all those shenanigans and already starting to pull away from Riders Badgero. That is TB4. Just spread out at the front of the moment. We would have thought there'd be a few off like a whippet. But it's the battle really at the moment. This is a good battle here actually going on for 4th position. This is Toby from Race Asylum with Mad Lad just ahead of him, and he's really putting a squeeze on the American Larry Birch in 4th, heading up the hill towards Spoon for the first time. It is currently dry. We'll have a look through the field and see what sort of tyres people are operating on. So, tyres. Little Nicky, he's gone out on those medium compound tyres. Mediums also for Ryan and for TB4. Larry Birch has opted to start on those soft compounds, try and get the most out of them. Now, I think it's their settings. They're going to know roughly when it's going to rain, right? So you would have thought they would kind of have a strategy down, but we'll see. Mad Lad, he's on the mediums, as is Toby, Asylum Racer, Matt, Hockers, Bupta Boy, Baz, and Ginner, all on the mediums. So you have to ask the question, does Larry Birch know something that nobody else does? Because he's opted for a completely different strategy to the rest of them. It could very well be it's just a ploy, and he wants to gain a few places and see where the chips fall, maybe. But at the moment, the battle on the racetrack at the moment is there's nothing really. There was that little battle for 4th. That's kind of settled down a little bit. We can see the race has already settled into a bit of a rhythm. Ginner Quinny's got some work to do just to catch back up to Baz and get back involved. All that work in qualifying, that long slog of 2 laps in qualifying, and he's had to try and find a way back into this race. Plenty of time to go though. We are only 3 minutes in to this 30-minute race. 1/10, if you like. That is Bupta Boy getting it all kinds of wrong. Shall we see what happened to him? You can see here Bupta Boy going quite well at the moment in 10th. Does he get caught, or is it just a case of getting some wheels on some grass? Now he just completely outbrakes himself into the gravel, dropping down into last place. I'll tell you what, if you think it's carnage now, we have got some moistness to come, I believe. Little Nicky leads by 1.3 glorious British seconds. Should we take I think I'm going to do. I'm going to take the names off like that. Looks bad, doesn't it? Little Nicky leads by 1.1 seconds now. Ryan is sticking with him. Those two now just starting to edge away from the rest of the pack, making it a 2-horse race out in the lead. Little Nicky, of course, was your pole sitter. He knows what he's got to do. He's just got to keep churning those laps out, try and manage that gap behind. He doesn't want to push the car too hard. You don't want to be burning through the tyres, burning through the fuel all too early. But they've decided to ditch the medium tyres already. Very odd that they've done that. clearly, maybe it's weather related. Everybody's in because I don't see any rain at the moment. The track's not wet. So, is it coming down? They're all going to chuck on intermediates. Maybe that's what it is. Everyone's in. I can't see. See, this is the problem. We need a proper weather radar here as commentary people, and they have put the intermediates on. So clearly, although it's showing no water on the track for me, there clearly is some out there. So it must be raining already. Is it too early? Should someone have stayed on the slick compound tyres maybe and given it a go, giving it a crack, or do they know that when they get halfway round it's going to be absolute carnage? Maybe it's because of the tyre allocations. They just have to be careful that they don't burn up all the tyres for their teammates. You can clearly see the rain coming down now, especially when you go here. You can see that it is wet, and it is. I can see that little bar creeping up, and I will have to amend this little thing so you can see the rain bar. I might have a separate little one on the other side with a little rain bar for everyone to see. But already, I mean, it's really the end of this racetrack, and it always seems to be at the elevated section where it gets bad. I don't know if you guys remember when we had the, yeah, actually it was the right thing going. Yeah, they knew they clearly knew they weren't going to make it round. Remember the World Series stuff when there was the rain at Suzuka, and it was completely dry for the it was around lap 11 or 12. The rain started to come, and it was completely dry. The lower section, down by the start-finish line, but then you got up to Spoon Curve, and it was an absolute waterfall. Lots of people crashes, and actually I had a really good week that week because people are idiots and don't put on wet tyres early enough. So little Nicky, he leads by 2.4 seconds from Ryan. He's now 4 seconds clear of Mad from ART. There's ART 2 and 3. Then we've got a little cluster of Race Asylum. Toby there up in 4th position. Baz in 5th. 4.6 seconds separate them two. 1.6 back to TB4. Then we've got Matt 2:37. Or is it 2:37? I don't know. 1.2 behind. Larry Birch from the United States of America, the only driver that started on those soft compound tyres. Is that going to cost the team? Because bear in mind, they've only got a limited tyre allocation over the course of both races that these drivers have got to use. So is that going to come back and bite him later on? Because he's only essentially used them for one lap. He's gone full wets. I think actually that was the way forward. We'll have a look at who else has gone full wets, because I think everybody else up to him have gone intermediate. Yeah, Larry Birch has gone full wet from the outset, and looking at how wet the track is already getting, I think that might have been an absolutely brilliant call. It is intermediate tyre, just on the cusp of intermediate tyre for everybody, and everybody seems to have gone that way. Although Silent Racer also on the wets, but he's just crashed. So maybe the wets aren't as good as we think. Let's have a look what happened to him. I think he just outbroke himself, back of the car. Yeah, just interesting use of track limits there from a Silent Racer. But yeah, no, it's really wet. This is where Suzuka gets a really complicated track to drive. You can see there again making a mistake at the at turn 1. Little Nicky not having such problems. He's really starting to open the gap in this. I suppose you could say that, yeah, for the sausage tree uses for race 2. So then the question is then, why not use? Why did everyone not start on the softs in race number 1? Listen, you guys know what you're doing. I'm sure you know what you're doing. I don't think anyone's come into this without practicing at least a little bit. At least I'd hope not. Yeah, so little Nicky leading. Anywhere there's a little battle going on, we can see Ryan there. He's trying his best to stick with little Nicky, but at the moment, no cigar. Does anyone else think it's strange that we haven't got fastest lap up on the screen? Or is it just me? I suppose we haven't had a full racing lap yet, have we? That'll be why. Mad is in third. There is Toby. It's really spread out the rain. It's really opened up the field already. No big action to speak of. Is anyone crashing? Come on then, let's see some mad crashes then, shall we? Potential battle there. You've got Baz there, not too far behind Hockers. He's going to try and tuck in that slipstream. But the thing is, it's getting the power down out of the Casio Triangle in this weather is an absolute nightmare to handle. And you can see that visibility is going to be zero. Particularly if you're on VR now, you're going to be struggling to see. Your braking points are going to be all over the place. It's really, really difficult. And we said this before, and we'll say it again, if he's on fire, why is the rain not putting him out? Because technically, it should be putting him out. But the intermediate tyres seem to be going quite well for these guys. The question is whether, of course, it stays intermediate, and for how long it stays intermediate. Whether drivers like Larry Birch running on those wets has made the right call going on the wets early. It seems to be that there's almost like a train going to start to form behind him. If you look at the gap to TB4, 3.5 seconds, and then the gaps are coming down, and here is Baz now. He's getting closer to the back of Hockers, making a little run as they get into Denga in these incredibly wet conditions. Pit stop. Already we've had one, which was for tyres. Will the next one be for wets, or will it be for fuel? As we see, Baz has just put in a purple time. Whether that's going to be the fastest lap of the race, I don't know. Little Nicky at the moment, that 2:28.0, absolutely phenomenal. He's going to have the run on Hockers now, heading up towards Spoon. Maybe not quite the opportunity there, but if he's tucked in here and he can't get it done, which it looks like he's absolutely going to go and do, round the outside, he's going to have the inside line into Spoon. Gets the car slowed down, does he? Yes, he does. And Hockers can only look on as Baz gains 7th and Hockers drops down to 8th position. He's got his teammate behind him. He's got a teammate behind him. That is a human centipede of ART cars. Look at that as we head down towards 130R. And it's torrential, it's moist, it's slippy. Into you've got to brake early here. Absolutely got to brake early. None of this lift and coasting around the corner in these conditions. As we can see, those we've got four of the ART drivers all battling it out behind Baz, with a battle essentially for 6th place at the moment. Asylum Racer having an absolute nightmare of a time on those wet compound tyres, really struggling to keep it on the racetrack. Hope he starts to find some rhythm. Larry with the professional strap, we'll see. But he was the only one that started on the softs. He was the only one that, other than Asylum Racer, that switched immediately to the wets. So who knows? He might just be the smartest man on the racetrack. We'll soon find out. That is Matt in 11th. He is chasing Hockers. Hockers in turn is chasing Bupta Boy. Bupta Boy putting some pressure on Ginna Quinny. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. Or Ginger Quinny. That's Baz up ahead. Baz is having a little look at his teammate. He's on a bit of a roll at the moment. Ginna Quinny actually with the fastest lap of the moment, but 2 at 22.5. Is that a sign of things to come? He had a really bad start, so he's got some work to do if he wants to get back up into the... oh, look at that! 2 cars losing it! Love it! Replay time! And we'll stay on board here, because you can see both cars losing it into Denga. You've got Giddy ahead, you've got Baz ahead of him, and Baz goes one way. You see it, Baz goes one way, Giddy tries to copy him, almost like Strictly Come Dancing. Giddy does rescue it, but not quite as well as he would have hoped. So Giddy back behind Bupta Boy. Baz losing loads of time. He's dropped down behind Hockers. He's going to have to make that overtake yet again. He's already done this once. Asylum Racer with the fastest lap of the race so far with that 2:20.0. Now, was there a little touchy there, or did Hockers just get a little bit loose? We'll have another look. We want to have a look from B. Adams. That's a Brian Adams. No, that was Hockers just getting a little loose. That was rubbing his racing. There was nothing untoward there. Like I could do anything about it. Or like I do apologise. My mic went haywire then and turned itself off. I've been talking away for ages, and yeah, I don't know what happened there. I do apologise. Yeah, I don't know how long ago it disappeared. Sorry about that. Yeah, it just crapped out for some crazy reason. Absolutely no idea why. No, I'm alive. I'm alive. I think I've said this before. The problem with where my setup is right in my front room, and I have a lot of kids come through my house, and they tend to kind of touch things because kids are pricks, essentially. And I find that sometimes things don't work as they're supposed to. And apparently you're not allowed to punch them because there's a law against that. And you're certainly not allowed to leave them in bed while you go for tapas. Just ask the McCanns. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Bumper Boy in 5th place. There's a bit sandwiched. That's a TB4 race solid driver sandwiched between two ART guys. But the ART drivers have really kind of... sorry, not the ART. The front 6 drivers have really kind of pushed themselves forward and made some gaps. You can see there Toby as well, 2.4 seconds back, 2.1 to Matt, who's under a bit of pressure now from Baz. Larry Birch into the pits already. He's going to ditch. He's going to ditch those wet compound. I'm not really dead. He's going to ditch those wet compound tyres and put on the intermediates now. Was that someone coming out on racing mediums? I'll tell you what, he has got massive, big, jangly brass ones. I think it's a little early, but listen, he knows his car. Who else is brave? Who else has been brave? Larry Birch. He's gone back onto those racing softs, so he's used up his soft tyre allocation for this race meeting. That's well, will he take them to the end? They should hold out to the end, I would have thought. The track's quite cool at the moment, bearing in mind that it's still damp in places. And we've got to wonder where, if all of the racetrack is suitable for slicks. We know that certainly higher up here, you can have problems with it. Hockers is on the racing softs. Asylum Racer in on those wet compound tyres now. He's changing them out. Here we've got on some racing tyres. So Little Nicky staying on those intermediates. 6.2 seconds clear, and he's still putting in purple sectors, so clearly those tyres still working for him. It's all about finding the balance, finding the perfect tipping point between wet and dry tyres. And sometimes you can go early and it works, sometimes you can go early and it is absolutely the wrong thing to do. The biggest mistake I think though is the other way round. It's staying on the wets for too long. It's staying on them for that extra lap and losing so much time when the cars behind you are closing the gap. Ryan's also staying out. It's going to be cat and mouse with these front runners because they're kind of relying on each other going in first to make the gap. As you can see there, that's Bumper Boy, Toby, that's Matt, that's Baz, all in with those intermediates now. So it's just the front 4 running still on wet compound tyres. Little Nicky, Ryan is bad, Mad Lad on pad, and TB4 on Pirate, I don't even know it. There we go. So they're all waiting to see what the others do. Is it going to be a case of if Little Nicky goes in, I'm going in, or is it going to be a case of I've got my own strategy? So Bumper Boy, that's a pit lane penalty, and that is that's a brutal penalty. That pit lane penalty really is costing him time already as Quinner comes through. Quinner the Brave, we'll call him. Quinny the Brave. And Bumper Boy has got that 3-second penalty to serve. That's going to give Matt behind him there a little bit of joy. He won't know at the moment that his teammate, I suppose they're probably on comms, so he will know his teammate has got that penalty, so he's going to be able to pick up the mantle in 6th. Larry Birch for Race Asylum. He's on those soft compound tyres. How's he going to get those tyres working for him? Is he going to get them up to speed nice and quickly? Start churning out some quick laps? The other question, of course, is Little Nicky, Ryan, Mad and Bumper Boy, are they going to come in now and change? Not Bumper Boy, it's TB4. They're going to come in and change those tyres. It won't be long before we find out, as there's Little Nicky. heading down to 130 and you can see there is a massive dry line around this track now. Massive dry line. It's got to be time. It's got to be time. He's got a 209.4 on that last lap, so it's clearly still into weather on that last lap. Is this where he pulls in? It doesn't look like he's coming in. Is he staying out? He is. He's staying out for another lap on those intermediate tyres. So does that mean the cars behind him are going to do the same? No. Ryan, he goes in. We've got to see if Mad goes in as well for ART. It looks like he's coming in. He is indeed. And there we have TB4. What about TB4? Is he going to stay out like little Nicky? No. Yes, he is. He's staying out the inters as well. So clearly they feel these intermediates have another lap, maybe more in them. Or is there another twist in the weather? Big questions to ask. So just 2 drivers left on wet compound tyres. Little Nicky, 18 seconds clear. He has the benefit of time. 18.8 seconds of the stuff. He's going to need a splash of fuel to get him to the end of this race. So he's going to have to come in, whatever happens. So, yeah, I tell you what, Blue, I'd be surprised if he stayed out to the end as well, because he would have run out of fuel at some stage. So he'll be travelling at 50 kilometres an hour on intermediate tyres. So I would expect that they'll be coming in at some stage. There's a yellow flag there. Who's that? I'm assuming that's him. It is indeed. That's Asylum Racer. Can we find out what happened to Asylum Racer? No, we can see him trying to rescue himself. But he stayed. He did the right thing. He stayed there. He let his teammate come through, and there we have it. So, Asylum Racer back in the mix. Remember, at one stage he had the fastest lap of the race, lap 5. He had the fastest lap of the race. Has Quiddy had a problem because he is back in 11th place. So I'm wondering if he's had a little spin somewhere. This is the problem when you've got a dry track like this. You've got your clear dry line, and you can see there. You've got your clear dry line, but the curbs, the grass, the edges of the racetrack, the non-racing line, that's all still moist. That's all still absolutely lining you up for a spin into a wall. River Ruckus Racing. Good evening. Good evening to you. That is a mad lad on pad. He's out on those racing softs. He was third behind little Nicky for so long, but now finds himself back behind his teammates. So there we go. TB4 coming in. Little Nicky going again on the intermediates. He has to come in this lap. He's got to refuel the car. So this is going to be surely when he comes in for the racing soft tyres and gives himself a good little run out to the end. 25 seconds is the current gap. Now I'm not sure what the pit loss is, and you've got to bear in mind that Ryan is up to speed. Ryan's tyres are in the zone now. They're up to temperature. It does put him in a good position, but bear in mind he did have a 6-second deficit behind him already that he had to make up. So it's all about now what Ryan can do, particularly on this lap, because little Nicky's got to come in at the end of this lap. Fastest man on the racetrack, that is the one American. He's there in 4th place, Larry Birch for Race Asylum. He's starting to show some really good pace, and there has been some questions as to whether he is the tactical genius of the bunch. The fact that he's up to 4th, and he was running much further down the order, and now churning out fastest laps in those low 205s, would suggest that there is some quicker times are coming. He is closing fast on Matt 237 just up ahead. You can see there that this gap is coming down as they get around that tricky hairpin. It's tricky in the dry. It's even trickier when there's just that one line through and it's wet either side. Heading up the hill now towards Spoon, a corner that it just takes so much longer to dry here than anywhere else because of that increased elevation. And you've got to stay off those curbs. So careful. Just stay on that light grey ahead, and that is a 3-way battle at the moment, because just ahead as little Nicky comes into the pit. Now this is going to be interesting to see. That'll be the backmarker Asylum Racer pulling over to let those guys through. Everyone is doing amazing, but the question is of course whether this guy is going to take the lead of the race. Little Nicky in the pits. Across the line comes Ryan. He takes the lead of the race. He's given Little Nicky some work to do. He's already on those soft compound tyres. Did Little Nicky leave it too late? Has he spent too much time on those intermediate tyres? And now is going to have to chase down a massive, massive lead. That is brilliant, brilliant tactics from Ryan to come in when he did. He has given himself an absolutely phenomenal opportunity. He's 14 seconds clear of Matt, who is running in second at the moment, but under a little bit of pressure from Larry Birch, who's been chucking in some crazy laps until, of course, Ryan put in that 2:02.8. There is Larry Birch. He did a couple of 2:05s. So now the track's starting to come to the quicker guys now. Lil Nicky, he's got some work to do. We're on lap 12. There's 5 minutes left in this race. He did stay out far too long on those inters. When Ryan came in, I thought that was probably the last ditch time. It was worth it, and it's really cost him 18 seconds behind. Now he had a 6-second lead over Ryan when the rain stopped and people started coming into the pits. He's now got 19 seconds to make up. He's going to struggle even, I think, to catch Larry ahead of him. Larry Birch there running in third. Is his teammate? Maybe they've got a tactic. Maybe they say, look, I'll let you stay there. It is a team competition after all. So it's all about doing what you can for your teammates and doing the job for your team. But at the moment, it is Ryan and Matt from Amigos Racing Team who are now locking out first and second. This was from a Race Asylum front row lockout in qualifying. So brilliant performance from these guys. And this is the Race Asylum pick as well. So awesome points on the board from these guys. Yeah, not what we practice, not sure why he's done that. No, that's the thing is, sometimes you practice, and you make a decision on the fly, see if something works. Yeah, you're saying 3 laps too long. Well, look, Jakey, you know, mate, because you are super quick. I think Ryan certainly got it right. I think Mad Lad got it right. He's obviously not gone too well for him since he's dropped down the order. Right, we've got a couple of laps left, so let's go through the order. Ryan is 15 seconds clear of his teammate Matt, who is 1.9 clear of Larry Birch, the lead Race Asylum driver. He's 1.7 ahead of Little Nicky. Little Nicky is closing that gap faster than anything. That is super quick at the moment. Book to Boy for ART. He is following Little Nicky pretty quickly. Now the question is, of course, because he's on the softs, Little Nicky running on the mediums. Yeah, it is a bit of a head scratcher. Usually you see kind of crazy decisions when something's gone wrong and you're at the back of the pack or you're kind of midfield and you expect it to be out the front. Yeah, weird. Very weird. Maybe he's been drinking. And if he has been, why has he not sent me one? Oh, who was that? That was Larry Birch. Larry Birch has binned the BRZ. How did he do it? Oh, he's got on the wet stuff, hasn't he? He's got on the wet stuff on the braking. Yeah, you can see there his wheels just touching the grass. You can't do that. When you're coming off a wet track, you've got to stay off the grass. You've got to stay off the curbs. Suzuka will kill you. He's now 4.6 behind Hockers. 1.8 to Mad. 7.6 to Race Asylum's Toby. 1.3 to Quinny Quinner. He's chasing him down. He's looking quick in 206s, which is not bad on those medium tyres with the wet patches. But ahead, Toby's a little bit quicker. Baz 6.4 back, 21 seconds to TB4, and Asylum Racer is a lap behind. So there's your race leader, 18 seconds clear, crossing the line for the final lap of the race. How many people are actually going to make it? We'll have a look. It's going to be 7th. So I think the first person we're going to see cross the line, across the checkered flag, will be, actually it's touch and go actually, I think, for Quinny, whether he makes it. I think he might just cross that line in time. Yeah, he will. Toby may as well, and his teammate Baz are there, possibly. We're looking at it tick. Do they make it, or is this the checkered flag for these guys? He's through. Bazzy's through. Toby's through. TB4 will not make it through for the final lap of the race. So we've still got 10 cars out there. 10 cars on the lead lap. With weather conditions like that, testament to absolutely brilliant racing and brilliant strategies from both teams, from all the drivers. 11th place, that's TB4, the silent racer. He's on his final lap too. He'll cross the line very soon to take 12th place. But let's face it, you still can listen. You can always, when I'm broadcasting, you can always be sure that wherever you finish, you still would have finished ahead of me. So there we have it. There's your race leader. He's not content with a 16-17 second gap. He's opening it up even more. And that is extra points for that fastest lap. I think it's 2 extra points for a fastest lap. I've read some of the rules. I'm sure it's 2 extra points for a fastest lap, which he's going to get. I think there's points for qualifying positions as well, isn't there? But that's a couple of extra points on the board for Ryan. He just comes through the Casio triangle now for Amigos Racing Team. Onto the power in that BRZ. Brilliant racing from him. Across the line. Ryan is budging, Little Nicky, he's made it back up to second. That's actually quite a good performance from him to get back up to second from there. He's rescued some points from the jaws of defeat there, actually. But he'll still be disappointed coming home in second. Matt home in third. Hockers for Amigos. Can he make it 3 from the top 4 for the Amigos Racing Team? Certainly looks like that's going to happen. Round he comes and across the line. Top 5 for 4 Amigos Racing drivers. For this was a race Asylum pick as well. That's going to be devastating for those guys. Ray's going to kick some ass. Book to boy across the line in 7th. Quinny in 8th position. Toby in 9th, and 10th is Bazza. What a great, that was phenomenal. Love it, man. Very sad. So there we have it. There's your winner, Cuzzy. I hate the fact it's got different names, man. It's crazy. There we are. Yeah. So let's have a little looky see. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Riders Badgino in the BRZ. Best lap and the win. Little Nicky in second. Rescued some points there from what could have been an awful day at the races. And Matt rounds out that top 3. I don't know what to tell you what car in. They're all in the same car. So there we go. That is a pretty darn good start, if I do say so myself. How are we liking it, folks? Good, isn't it? It's been pretty good. I'm saving that replay. I'm going to nick some of that footage for some videos and chisel. You get me? Yeah, no, that was pretty good. Next up is a track that I absolutely loathe. And the thing is everybody seems to like it. Look, it's not a bad track, Autopolis, right? But I loathe it. I loathe it with a passion. I hate it so much that if I could go back in time to the moment in the 90s that crazy billionaire decided to build it, ironically 3 years before he went bankrupt, I'd kick him very hard in the nuts. Look, it's a crazy racetrack with 19 insane corners, and not one of them has a name. The straight is the only part of the racetrack that has a name. But yeah, we'll talk about it in a minute when it all comes up. So yeah, but great start from both teams. Great start, and a great start to the proceedings here for the Community Team Cup. If you are just joining us, you don't know why you're here. You're here for the Community Team Cup, which is the 2024 version of such and suchy thing. It is Race Asylum versus Amigos Racing Team, and it's been an absolute doozy of a race that was dominated in qualifying by Little Nicky, and dominated in the first 25 minutes of the race by Little Nicky, and then inexplicably he decided that he didn't want slick tyres when everybody else was using them, and it's cost him the win by a significant margin in the end. But yeah, all changed now. I don't know how long the wait is in between. I'm sure we're pretty much going to be quick, I think. everyone's going to go and have a little wee and a poo. No, you're right, Urban. You're actually right with UrbanPyrate. That is not UrbanPyrate. My brother from another mother. Yeah, great racing in very difficult conditions. You're absolutely right about that. It was incredibly difficult conditions. The rain came. The rain came. Only 2 drivers opted to go on the wet tyres, which was yeah. It looked like it was going to be a big payoff for him. Actually started on the softs. He's not going to have soft tyres available to him for the next race. He's only going to have mediums, but it is quite a high tyre wear, so maybe that will play into the hands a little bit. We'll see though. We'll see. There's plenty of racing left to go. A whole another 60 minutes. So is little Nicky going to be feeling sore and want to prove a point in this next race? Or is it going to be somebody else now stepping up to the fray? That was the race Asylum pick, of course. So you would have expected a better finish for the race Asylum drivers. Clearly, you know, it's their option. But it just goes to show that when you put good drivers together, it doesn't matter who's picked the settings. Good drivers will always find a way. I need a drink. Sorry, hang on. Yummy. Yummy. I've opened a bottle of Desperado. It had to be done. It is Friday night. Busy week coming up this week for little old me. My Friday night is free because I had other plans. So I'll be usually on a Friday night. I'm doing a British Touring Car Championship. Not doing it. I'm telling people about it like I'm telling you guys about this. But they're on a break in between seasons. I was contemplating racing for a bit, and then I realised I didn't really want to. But basically, it was a track I'm not particularly good at. Against a load of people that are very, very, very good at that track, being it's their specialist circuit. So I was going to arrange to go out, and then yeah, I found out who was going out as well, and I thought I would rather hang from my testicles from a holly bush than spend time with those absolute wank puffins. So I dropped Jaeger a message yesterday and said, we're a broadcaster. So yeah, so here I am. But unfortunately I won't be here next week because I've got other shizzle to do. But I'm sure at some stage the next month, because I've got other shizzle to do, I'm sure at some stage throughout the year I'll pop in every now and again to do some broadcasting as I can. We'll see. It's good to see there's loads of you out there, loads of you. It's too many to even mention. But it's good to see that the Race Asylum and the ART guys are out in force supporting their teams. So, all change. It's the Toyota 86 GR4, which is a phenomenal car, and it's at Autopolis. Thankfully, it's Autopolis Short, which is actually... Autopolis Main is horrible. It's like being kicked in the nuts with steel toe cap boots. The short version is like being kicked in the nuts with some slippers. It's a much better circuit. Actually, it's not too bad a circuit, to be fair. Apart from that little bit that looks like a willy hanging out of a seal. But no, it's not a bad racing track. This version, I can tolerate this one. But yeah, I was telling the story about. So basically, how this racetrack came about. And I can't remember how I found out this story, but it was in the 90s, and there was a crazy millionaire, and you know he's a crazy millionaire, because he stayed in a hotel, and they had a Picasso or Van Gogh or something like that, Van Gogh, depending on where you are in the world, and he bought this thing from the hotel for 53 million quid, randomly, because he stayed in a hotel and he liked it, and then he went out and spent 500 million on building this racetrack. And then 3 years after spending $500 million on a racetrack, he went bankrupt and lost everything, including that stupid painting that he paid 53 million quid for. Or, I don't know if it was quid. I don't know. I know the number is 53. It's probably dollars, to be fair. $50 million. Or it's not yen. Well, no, yen's China. Yen China. Oh, yen's Japanese, isn't it? I get confused. Part of the world I've never been to, so yeah, it confuses me. But yeah, so it's now owned, I think, by Kawasaki. And it's quite a popular racetrack in Japan. It's used for the Super GT stuff. It's used for Super Formula. So it is a popular racetrack. Just that I don't like it. I don't like it in the slightest. Be interested to see. Shall we have a look at what the settings are? We're going to have, obviously we've got the qualifying is going to be different, but the qualifying settings are. That's the race settings, not the quality settings. It's thick clouds, afternoon, equal conditions mode. That's just to make it fair for everybody throughout the qualifying, with tyre wear off and fuel consumption off, etc, etc, etc. 5 minutes per team, and of course ART will get the first 5 minutes, and Race Asylum the second, so a couple of laps each. Art Willie, you're mad lad, aren't you? I get confused. I think we need to do away with this two name bullshit on Gran Turismo, because or you both names the same. Why do you need two different freaking names? It makes my life incredibly difficult, especially because a lot of time I'll get sent a sheet with a list of names on of who's in it, and absolutely no relation to the people I'm looking at on the racetrack. But I suppose it's the same with Discord, isn't it? People have different Discord names and stuff. But it is what it is. There's lots of things we'd like to change. We'd like the fact that if someone gets disconnected from a lobby, it just hands over and transfers to the next person, like on GT Sport. But we're not going to get that either, are we? Because PD only care about giving us freaking snowy tracks and more shitty freaking cars. So there we go. Right. 10 minutes is the qualifying session. Everyone gets a little bit of time for practice. I'm going to go and get another drink, I think, because I've got about a quarter of a bottle left. It's only a little one. And I'm going to go get that, and I'll be back in 30 seconds. So go and have a wee. See you soon. I have returned. Just in time as well, by the looks of things. I promise you an anecdote. Those of you in the UK will be fully aware of Just Eat. I'm sure many people elsewhere are as well. Now, Friday night we always get takeaway. But I was acutely aware in the news this morning they announced that the drivers were having another strike. So we thought we'd order early. Right, anyway. What we also do is if we need like little bits from Sainsbury's, because the missus goes shopping on a Friday night, but she goes like big shop. And sometimes you need a couple of little bits, which we needed. So what I did is I did two Just Eat orders. I did one for the food, for those of us that were here and not out shopping. And I did one for the little bits from Sainsbury's, which was a couple of beers and some milk and silly little things. Right? I then watched the tracker, right? So I get a little notification for as you do, telling you your food's on the way. And I look at the tracker, where's the guy? You know, have I got time to go and have a pee or whatever. And I watched the driver from my food takeaway, which is opposite the Sainsbury's, right? Same road, right? There, it's like a T-junction, and they're on the opposite sides of this T-junction, right? I watched the driver drive past the Sainsbury's into the shop to collect my food, right? Bearing in mind that they're assigning a driver for both orders. They did both orders at the same time on purpose, expecting it to be one delivery. He picks up the takeaway food, right? He drives to my house with the takeaway food, this driver, and then it says your driver has been assigned for the other. So I think, oh well, fucking stupid, they've assigned 2 different drivers to 2 different deliveries. No, this driver then turns around, goes back to the freaking Sainsbury's, picks up my stuff from the Sainsbury's and brings it back to my house. And then you think, you're going on strike because you think you're not earning enough money, but you've just wasted fucking £2 worth of petrol doing the same freaking journey twice. Not bad. But there you go. It is what it is. To be fair, when I was thinking about the story, I was thinking it was a much better story than when I've told it. It sounds a bit rubbish now, really. And it makes me sound like a really lazy shitbag. Because I could have just driven and got it myself, couldn't I? Yeah, well, I had kids in the house I had to watch. That's my excuse, I'm sticking to it. And it is actually, it's not just an excuse, it's actually true. I did have 2 kids under the age of 9 in the house with me that I had to cater for. So, bollocks, Joe. If you think I'm lazy, I don't care. Yeah, I was going to say, it's a busy week this week. We've got qualifying starting soon. So we've got GT Alpha's round 2 coming tomorrow. 3 lobbies of action. I think Hockers is racing this week, is he not? I could be wrong. Might not be Hockers. I can't remember, actually. There are 3 lobbies of people to try and remember. But funnily enough, ART are the reigning GT Alpha's champions after winning the GT3 championship in 2023. Team champions, of course, aren't them, but they do have the reigning champion. Body Val, he's not racing with them here, but he certainly is he is the champion, and won last week as well. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. Monday, I'm going to do a bit of racing myself on Monday. Just a little bit of Le Mans, a little cheeky Le Mans on Monday. Wednesday is round 2 of the ZFS World Series, another CTC competitor who's in action tomorrow. It's their World Series, and Lobby 1 and Lobby 2 both live on Black Flag Racing TV. I'll be doing Lobby 1, and my loyal apprentice and bitch, Corentis, will be doing Lobby 2. Then Friday we're back with the BTCC Championship for Full Throttle Racing here on Black Flag. So do come and join me next week Friday for that. And we'll see what we can do for next month with CTC in terms of juggling stuff around. Anyway, qualifying is coming. This is why they pay me the big bucks, just to basically talk bollocks in between races. I know most of you probably fucking mute that fucking bull prick, but I don't care. Right. So, quali is about to start, I think. I think we're just waiting for everyone to tick in. Don't think there's been any substitutions. Now, did I keep a note of who used what tyres? I don't think I actually did. No, I didn't. No, I didn't in the slightest, actually. But I do know that Larry Birch has used his entire plethora of soft compound tyres, because you're only allowed 2. So he's only got 2 racing mediums to use. He's got intermediates, he's got wets as well, or a wet if he wants it. He's also got the hard. Will anyone use the hards? That's the question. Because the use of hards is quite a contentious subject, I think, in GT7. In GT Sport, they seem to be used more. I think the deg has never really been the issue. I think it's the grip has always been the big issue. But you find in GT7 now that if there is a requirement to use hards, people tend to use them for the shortest amount as possible. And maybe, I think the hard tyres tend to only be used really for the sort of daily races and that kind of thing, which seems to be a bit counterproductive. If you're going to put them in there, find a way to make them viable for everybody. I do apologise for my... I know it's Christmas music. I haven't changed it on my Alexa yet. You don't have to tell me. There's my son picking up his food. What's he having delivered? What's he got? He's got McDonald's. McDonald's? What you got?
Yeah. McDonald's.
What'd you get?
I got McDonald's.
Yeah, no, what? I know you got McDonald's. What did you get from McDonald's?
Nuggets.
Chicken nuggets. Which is ironic because he looks like a fucking nugget.
What are you fucking interested in food, you fat cunt?
Right, anyway, we're still waiting for qualified start. I think everyone's checked in. Yeah, everyone's checked in. Type R when ready. Absolutely, Type R when ready. We can get cracking. R.A. Dens. He's a substitution. Who's he come in for? Because we've got Baz's there, Little Nicky's there, Larry Birch is there, TV4 is there, and Toby's there. Oh, he came in for Asylum Racer. Unless that is Asylum Racer, that's just his other name. Oh yeah, I think he's coming. Yeah, he's coming. Looks like he's coming for Asylum Racer, who didn't have the greatest of times at Suzuka. Really struggled with the wet weather. Right, qualifying start. ART to go first. Simple Pimples. Autopolis short in the phenomenal Toyota 86 GR4. And we'll get cracking, shall we? Okay. There we go. That explains it, doesn't it? Display all. We'll turn off driver names as well. No one will, we? So, who's out first? Who's first to blink for ART? That'll be Hockers. Hockers quick off the mark. I do. The one thing you do say about the liveries, particularly for Race Asylum and for ART, is it doesn't matter what car it is, what series it's in, what livery requirements there are outside your own colours. You can instantly recognise what team they're from. You could look from a distance. You would know without they could take the wording off, and you would know that is an ART livery. And we'll have a look at the Race Asylum one actually afterwards, because it's the same for Race Asylum. Instantly recognisable liveries for Race Asylum, and it doesn't matter where you are or what competition you're in. It's always going to be that's a Race Asylum car, and I do like that. It's a really, really cool thing. And I do. And to be fair, the people that do the Amigos graphics, I don't know who they are, but they're a genius, because. And for RA, I'm RA as well. You guys are in so many different things. To have those liveries just being churned out on a regular basis. We've got a guy that does our liveries at Black Flag, and we're in like a fraction of the stuff that you guys are in. And he has literally worked to the bone trying to get liveries for all the cars done. So, Autopolis, that's turn one. Long run down to their big breakings, and you've got to be careful not to go wide. It's a long, long run off. Powering through. Past sector one, another big braking zone into turn two. It kind of curls back on itself almost straight away for turn 3 and 4. Then you've got that little run down to the end of the little wheelie for the big hairpin that takes you back up and around into almost completely round went Hockers. There you go. Let's go back with Ryan. Hockers, you can't buy that there, mate. Then you've got this long left-hander, which kind of almost takes ages to get round. On the main course, you carry on going off, down, in that direction and disappear off, and we don't see you for a while. You've got this run down here, and then this is where you'd return back to the racetrack. Elite Digits. Do you know what? I knew I recognised the name, Elite Digits, yeah. And a massive shout to Elite Digits, because the ART artwork is just phenomenal. That guy, he is an artist. Look, anyone that does liveries on this kind of basis is an artist. But yeah, Elite Digits, absolute legend. But yeah, well done, Cuzzy, or it's Ryan, isn't it? This guy right here. Well done for the liveries, man. Looking nice. Race Asylum, if you want me to shout out your livery designer, I will do so. Unless it's a secret, of course. So there we go. That's a lap around Shit-topolis. All-topolis. But it is Quinny with the fastest lap thus far, 1 minute 12.0. Ryan not too far behind, just 200ths of a second difference between those. We'll see the Race Asylum guys coming out very, very soon. Just a bit, I think about 3 laps we have to squeeze out here, if we're lucky. 3 laps. What was it? 1 minute? Yeah, 3 laps. I think 3 laps can be done. They'll be doing their last one, of course, when RA are out and ramping up the pace, of course. So across the line, does he take pole? No, that was not quite as quick. But Mad Lad on a pad. He's got more hair than my dad. He took pole very briefly with a 1:11.9, and then Quiddy retakes it with that 1:11.8. So starting to hot up the pace. Matt is currently in fourth, so obviously going to be on the front 4 rows. That's what you would expect when they're the only ones qualifying. But 1:12.3, but he has gone quicker. Is he going to be able to make up that almost 3/10 deficit to Ryan Badino? But it's only 3/10 separating Quinny on pole at the moment and Ryan in third. And only half a second between those top 4 as it stands. JP77. Yeah, big shout to the RA designer JP77. He's as I said, anyone that does liveries on a regular basis is a freaking genius, man, because it takes so much time, it's so hard. I used to do some, but I just can't be asked. I don't have the time nor the inclination to do it. If I could do it with a mouse, it'd be so much freaking easier, but I can't. There we go. So Matt does improve that time, puts himself on to, well, he's still in the second row, but up to third. So ART going to finish all their laps now, and it is Race Asylum coming out for theirs. So points to prove, big point to prove for Lil Nicky after getting it horribly wrong in the BRZ at Suzuka and staying out far too long on those intermediate tyres. So he's got a big point to prove here in this Toyota 86. Den stepping in for Asylum Racer. He is the reserve driver. A+ reserve drivers, man. That's a good problem to have. But you can see them all out in formation. Held up at the moment behind. I don't know who that is. Who is it? Somebody. Hockers, I think. So currently on pole is Quiddy. He's going to finish this lap. He's got 1:11.6 is that qualifying time with Mad Lad on a pad already in the pits. Matt's currently sitting third with Ryan in fourth. He'll cross the line and finish up, and then he'll disappear off into the pits, as we know. So Toby is leading the charge for Race Asylum, ramping it up on his outlap, getting into position. Across the line he goes, and here we go. The clock is a ticking. He will drift over to that left hand side, get into the braking zone for turn 1. This long run down to turn 1, get it turned in, clipping the apex as he goes, and just drifting the car up, but not too far out. You don't want to be touching the grass there. This car will spin away into the ether if you get that any kind of wrong. Another big break there for turn 2. Again, just being careful on that exit. Immediately into turns 3 and 4, which sweep you round down to the first of 2 hairpins on this Autopolis short course. This hairpin's really tricky because it kind of goes away from itself and then back on itself. So it's not a simple hairpin. Round to the left, you sweep, just keeping the car as close as you can to the left hand side. To the right hand side, and then taking that apex as well on the just sweep down towards this. It's less of a hairpin than the other one, but it is still a hairpin. And you just let it swoop you round, and then you flick it left, and then down to cross the line you go. That's not quick enough to beat pole. That is good enough for 7th. What about Larry Birch? 6th place for him. Lil Nicky. Where's he gone? I saw him just on. He's in 6th now as well. So at the moment, it's looking pretty darn good for ART with Quiddy on pole, Mad Lad, then Matt, then Ryan, then Boopta Boy, and then Hocker's just been separated by Lil Nicky and Larry Birch. So Race Asylum have a bit of work to do. Bear in mind as well that they lost out on their pick of Suzuka in the rain in the BRZ, so they're going to have to try and earn back some points here in the away fixture. Essentially it is an away fixture, although you do get the settings up in plenty of time, so I suppose it's not really an away fixture if you have that much knowledge of the track. Right, who's looking at the races? It's 1:12.5 from Lil Nicky's, up by 0.7 of a second. That's a big jump. That's good enough at the moment for the front row. Can he maintain this? Can he improve on that time? As a Dens slides into 5th, and Little Nicky indeed does grab pole, excuse me, by the scruff of the neck, shakes it like a baby with shaken baby syndrome. What is wrong with me, man? Little Nicky is on pole, 300th of a second quicker than Quinny. Quinny's still holding on to that front row. Dens puts himself on to row 3. Subbing in for Asylum Racer in this second of 2 races here. 112.3 for him. Are they too close together, these RA guys? Are they actually holding each other up where they're running so close together? Is there any slipstream involved? I did actually notice something I wanted to mention, actually. I noticed in the rules there was a thing about no bump drafting, unless it was on an oval. I wouldn't imagine it would be that effective. Well, I suppose it might be a little bit effective here if you get a good exit out of that final corner. But that's I don't know who that is going wide, but they don't want to go there. And who else was it that just disappeared off the racetrack? Crossed the line for Larry Birch. He doesn't improve. Baz hasn't improved either. Oh, that's actually Baz. Well, he's not improved because he's in a wall. You can't improve when you're in the gravel. You can't improve in the gravel. I think that's everyone done. I don't think there's anyone still going quickly. Yeah, that's everyone done. So, there we have it. Little Nicky takes pole yet again. Can he convert this one into the top step of the podium? He couldn't do it last time. Will he get the tactic spot on this time? Now, it is high tire. It's about time 6 here today. So, they're going to have to really look after the tyres. The medium tyres will come into play. Is anyone brave enough to go on the hards? Is there enough pace in the hards to justify it, or enough longevity in the hards to justify it? That I think is going to be key. If the hards can last significantly longer than any other tyre and give you an advantage when you do have to pit, is that a potential choice? Who knows? We're going to find out. I can't imagine over the course of this Community Team Cup season we'll see much use of the hard compound tyres unless we've got some really, really high tyre wear races. So there we go. Qualifying is finito. Done. We're not going to start the race. We just need to cancel it and then you know what happens. There we go. It's cutting off the screen, but it doesn't matter because they're going to reset the lobby in a minute, aren't they? Yeah, they're going to start the race. They don't need to. They can just cancel it. They should just cancel it anyway. Lobby will get remade, and then we'll redo the grid, and then we will start, so we can have the pretty settings for the actual race. I'm not going to go into spectate because it's not a proper race. This one. Don't you worry about it. Right, sorry, 1 second. I'm being summoned. I've had many pointless conversations in my life. That is up there in the fucking top 10. I won't share it with you. Right, details. No, it hasn't been reset yet. Don't know why I'm bothering to look. We were talking. What was it? Where are we? Friday today. Was it last night or Wednesday night? No, I think it was last night. Last night we were doing some. We were chucking some laps around, and we were joking that wouldn't it be mad if you had like a race where it was like a 2-hour qualifying session, and then just a 2-lap fucking sprint to the line. That'd be fucking awesome. Well, it wouldn't be because nobody would do 2 hours of qualifying. You'd be like, what the fuck, man? You'd give up after about 20 minutes, wouldn't you? Maybe that's the idea. We do like a. No, I can because it was about my daughter's poo, but we're not going into it. So I thought, yeah, there's some things you don't share on social media. That's one of them. You know the conversations you have with a 3-year-old that are perfectly valid conversations over with a 3-year-old. Yeah, well, I had that with a 9-year-old. Arrays, nice. Nice. Right, event settings. Let's show you all, shall we? So you can see what I can see. 30 minutes Autopolis preset went out in thick clouds in the early morning. Time's 8, so it's going to go into the daytime. A real slipstream. Some settings options, that would be brake balance, of course. Fuel consumption times 4. Tyre wear times 6. Excuse me. Refueling at 8 litres a second. The time 6 is going to be a big factor here, I think. It's quite a short laps, 1 minute 20-ish, there or thereabouts. So we're going to have quite a few laps here. But it'd be interesting to see what tactics people go for. We know there is one driver out there that does not have soft tyres available to them. Shortcut penalty weak. I like shortcut penalty on weak because I think some of the shortcut penalties are absolutely ridiculous. A pain is a nice way to describe it, Blue Racer. It's a very nice way to describe Autopolis. A big part of steaming dog shit would be another one. When I first got GT7, I didn't, or even GT Sport, I didn't realise that Autopolis was actually a real racing circuit, because I genuinely thought that nobody in their right mind, nobody in a sane state of mind, would make such an awful racetrack for real. It would only be something invented by a games designer. But it turns out I was horribly wrong, and it is actually a real place. And it horrifies me. It horrifies me because people actually race on it as well. That it's actually quite a successful racing circuit. So Race Asylum are looking to massively improve after the first race at Suzuka. ART with everything to gain here, really. I'm certainly going to be up on points. I haven't bothered to write it down and take the time to work out the points, which a professional commentator would probably do. But as you well know, I don't do this for any level of professionalism. I do it because can't be asked. Oh yeah, there was another story I want to tell you guys. We'll talk about when the race settles into like a bit of a thing. I'll tell you what I did this week. Race beginning shortly. Let's get all my menus up. Let's get rid of that. Off. That one we want on. Then you can see everything. And then we'll go there. We'll go 6th place. 6th place. There we go. So, that's 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. You know what happens now. Let's go racing! And everyone away. Well, there. Is it going to be a turn 1 carnage? No problem at the back by the looks of things. No problems at the back. Turn 1 carnage. How's it looking? There's a sea of yellow. Into turn 1 we go. Oh, I thought he was going to struggle to slow it down, but it looks okay there. No one in the gravel. No one in the gravel behind. We are safely through and out of red flag territory. I don't even know what the red flag procedure is here. Whether it's called by me or called by us as the race. That's what the race directors are for, aren't they? That's why we've got Nick and Ray in the room. They're not here for their good looks and their charm. They're here for red flag purposes and other amazing shizzle. So Lil Nicky leads the way as he did at Suzuka, and he is starting on those soft compound tyres. Let's see how many laps I can get out of these soft compounds. Quiddy on the softs, mediums for Mad Lad, Denz. Is that short for Denzel? On the mediums. Mediums for Matt and for Ryan and not for Baz. Baz is on the softs. Hocker's on the mediums. Boop to Boy is on the mediums. TB4 on the mediums. Larry Birch, oh no, he's on the soft, sorry. TB4. Larry Birch definitely on the mediums. He's got no softs left available. And Toby on the medium compounds. Still a lot of soft tyres available throughout the field. The mediums getting used up early doors by a lot of drivers. So they're going to give themselves soft tyres to run for long periods. Now I don't know if this is. I'm assuming this is going to be a one-stopper. I can't imagine this being a 2-stop race, but as I haven't raced it, and usually I do try and make an effort if I'm broadcasting something to have a rough idea of what it's going to be like. But to be fair, it was short notice. I only found out not even this time yesterday. Well, yeah, about this time yesterday I was doing it. So I I usually have a little bit more prep time. So little Nicky is absolutely pulling away this time. No one's sticking with him. 1.8 seconds, and he is flying. Absolutely flying. Being hunted down, there's a lot of ART up there in that top 3. There is Quinny and Mad Lad, both vying to put some pressure on little Nicky and not let him pull away. Denzo's there, Matt's there. Look at this. This is a great little battle all the way back to, you've got Hockers there. But we'll go from there because the gap to Hockers is 1.2. That is the battle for second. And we're currently looking, we're in my drone and we're flying above Baz. And look at this human centipede weaving across the racetrack into turn 1. They go at the beginning of lap number 3. Fastest lap is a 1:12. I said it was 1:20, didn't I? 1:12 from Lil Nicky. Currently the fastest man out there. Now, if you're on the soft compound tyres, you know you're going to have to pit earlier than those guys ahead on the mediums. You might not necessarily know they're on the mediums, but you do really need to get the benefit from them softs. So do what Nicky's doing, which is pull out a gap. If you're down the field like Baz is now and you're on soft, you're going to have to try and squeeze past those running those medium compound tyres. You might not necessarily know who they are, but you need to get them working as best as possible. It's not the easiest racetrack to overtake here at Autopolis. You're kind of relying on a mistake here or there, or relying on a kind of crazy move up the inside like that. Well, it's not crazy. That wasn't crazy move by any stretch of the imagination. Good move there by Baz, getting up into 6th place. He's going to have a good run now on Matt as well, and it is ARTRA as it stands. Looking back over my shoulder, that is Ryan there back behind Baz. He's currently on the medium compound tyres, so he's going to run a little bit longer. There was, you can see there, Matt was having a little look up the inside of Dens, thought better of it, and rightly so, because that would have been a absolute unmitigated disaster. But you can see Baz is looking really, really quick at the minute, and he is all over the back of Matt. He's trying to force Matt into making a mistake, and that's what driving like this does. If you've got a car behind you putting this much pressure on, and we talk about cars behind, there you can see that Ryan is now getting back involved. And if you've got a car behind you putting that much pressure on your rear view mirror, you're not concentrating just on what's going on ahead. You're constantly looking in that mirror and saying, where is this guy going? And sometimes that kind of affects your lines, because you're more concerned with not leaving a gap than you are just racing your line. And watch this, there's Baz making that move. He's going to go for the switcheroo, is he? Absolutely, he tries it. He does a good job, Matt, actually, at holding off the old switcheroo. We'll have a look at that. I do love a switcheroo. Big fan of a switcheroo. So you can see Baz, he's tucked in there. He goes wide. He expects him to cover it off, but actually he does a really good job of cutting back in and stopping the switcheroo from happening. It's one of my favourite moves when you do that kind of. I'm going this way. No, I'm not going that way. I did pop out. There's a short on the YouTube you'll see where I got absolutely smashed to smithereens in a day race where the guy did all the right things. He got in my slipstream. He cut up to the inside to have a little look. And then he went for the old switcheroo, which is go to my outside and just spin me out into the fucking gravel instead. And it wasn't like he was going for a move around the outside. He realised he wasn't going to take me up the inside, so he just went round the outside and smashed me into the gravel. And then went on to win the race, and I finished 12th. I was on pole, by the way, and this was lap 2. I don't start on pole very often, apart from the daily races, because I am a rubbish. Right, the battle is still raging on, but he's having another look, is Baz. I wonder if he's in. So he's made the move on Matt. He's tucked in behind his teammate. Almost didn't get it slowed down in time. Very nearly sent Dens to heaven with a smash into the wall, but he's managed to hold him off. His rear view mirror though not looking good. It is full of yellow at the moment. There is a lot of yellow in that. As you can see ahead, that's Dens and Mad Lad down to turn 1. Dens up the inside. Can he make that move stick? It's tight as they go side by side. That's the tucking behind, and Baz now trying to take up the mantle. He's going to take both positions in one. This is a great shot of this. Actually, it'd be even better if we do it from that. Oh, there, look at this. You can see that battle side by side with his teammate. He's not patient enough to let Dens get the job done. He says, you've had a go, Dens. You've had a couple of goes. You haven't made it work. My turn. And he is off after Mad Lad. And you can see there already the two in the distance have disappeared. Nothing to be seen. Away they have gone. So Baz on an absolute charge, and I said if you're on the softs you've got to make them work, and he's doing just that. He's making those soft tyres work. He's getting the best advantage he can out of them while he can, and you can see the wear there already on lap 6, and you're already starting to think about, okay, lap 13 maybe, is this when I'm pitting? It's going to be quite early on pitting for those soft tyre runners. Out in front, that's Little Nicky's 2.9 seconds clear. He opened a gap quite quickly. He settled into a very, very comfortable rhythm of those mid 112s. Not the quickest lap he's done on lap 6, but he's in those mid 112s, which is a good, solid rhythm on those soft compound tyres. Quinny, the best of the rest, he's trying to stick with Little Nicky, much as his teammate did in the first race at Suzuka. 5.8 seconds now back to that battle behind for third, which is still raging on. There's still quite a lot of cars involved in this battle. You can see there just how close all these cars are coming through. Don't like that camera flick. So that is TB4. And that ahead, just in the distance, that's the battle for third. And at the moment you've got Mad Lad just desperately trying to hold off Baz and find a way to keep him out of the top 3. And Baz, it's actually causing, to an extent, this train of cars up behind them, really pushing the cars backwards and concertinaing them cars together, because it is such a difficult racetrack to overtake. You're kind of relying on some slipstream and getting a good exit out of that corner. We'll go to Baz again, because it looks like Baz is going to try and have another go. He's had another go and he's made it stick, but here comes Denz as well. Denz is going to make it stick as well. I want to stick a marker in so we can get both of those overtakes into turn 1. So that is a double RA overtake. Let's have a little looky see. So you can see there, gets the exit out, and it's here we want to be, isn't it? Which car do we want to be with? There, this is Denz. And you can see he had such a good exit out of that final corner. Tucked in behind Mad Lad and just sticks to the outside. Makes that move, but just a little bit later on the brakes as well on the outside. Allows him to cut in behind his teammate, and off up the road they go. La-di-da-di-da. And what a move from Denz straight away again. Denz making a move on his teammate. And so this is almost straight from there. Denz closing in on Baz. Did Baz make a mistake? Because you can see that he got really deep. He was really wide through there. Left the door open, and Denz said, thank you very much. You can shut it on your way out. I am now in that top 3. And on we go. Great racing from these guys. So Little Nicky leads from Quinny. That's your front 2. This is the battle for third. And we've had 5 different cars in third place now at this stage, or 4 different cars in third place at this stage of the race. Ryan is bad. He's making some moves now. Mad Lad dropping down the order. Those medium tyres not working so well for him, and you can see the wear on those tyres already, and that's on the mediums. They are not lasting a long time at all. They will, and without question, I think they should take them to the midpoint of the race. Does a full tank of fuel, however, take you to the end? At the moment, looking at the fuel, and I want to have a good look at the fuel actually, we can see here, certainly not for Little Nicky, but his tyres are, in a couple of laps, they're going to be questioning whether they are of this world for any much longer. Quinny, though, doing it. Look at the difference in the tyres here between the two. That's Little Nicky's tyres. They're both on the soft compound tyres. They're both in the same car. It's not to do with settings. It's to do with how you drive the car. Look at how Quinny has looked after those tyres and looked after that fuel. It's going to make a massive impact, because Little Nicky is going to have to go in the pit sooner, unless he can drive with no rubber. He's going to have to go in the pit sooner. And the other thing, of course, as well, he's going to have to put more fuel on board. So 8 litres a second, he's going to have to put a few of those 8 litre seconds in, so he's going to be in there for a bit longer. So Quinny, actually, despite being 4.1 seconds behind Little Nicky, he's in a good position. We're 11 minutes into this race, still got 20 minutes to go. This is lap 10, so another, well, probably about 18, 19 laps. Good old Cockopolis, I love it. Cockopolis. I wouldn't count Quinny out at this stage. I think Quinny is a good outside bet for a potential win here, particularly if he can make these tyres last for another 3 or 4 minutes. He can go back onto the softs. He hasn't run the soft compound tyres yet. I don't think he ran the soft compound tyres at Suzuka. He may well have done, actually. I can't remember. But if he hasn't, and he can run the softs again, he's in a very unique position. Little Nicky, though, is currently the race leader, but those are looking ropey. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't like to go home with a fat girl from a nightclub if my rubber was that thin. That's Baz back up into third place. Him and Dens have been battling out, but here is Ryan now. Ryan trying to have a go on the pair of them. He's right on the outside, side by side with Dens into turn one. Dens does hold him off by having that inside line. Is there a switcheroo up into turn two? Dens pulling across and sensibly not allowing him through, but here he goes. Anyway, Ryan's having a little look up the inside into turn two. Is Ryan going to take third? He can't do it, can't get that move done. Tucked in behind again. Baz and Dens just holding them off. And at the moment, this is playing right into Baz's hands. If his teammate Dens can keep Ryan and Hockers behind, keep them back there and force them backwards towards Mad Lad and TB4, it gives Baz an opportunity just to pull up. This is where they can really play that team game. Use those team tactics and give Dens the opportunity. Let Dens be allowed to race his race, have a bit of a breather, look after his tyres, look after his fuel a little bit, bring one home for the team. Little Nicky's up there. He's exposed at the moment because it's just Little Nicky and Quinny. He's got no teammates with him. Now, I'm not suggesting that little Nicky can't hold his own. Absolutely, we know he's more than capable of holding his own. But you would want one of your teammates with you. You want that guy in third, putting some pressure on the guy behind you so you can concentrate on bringing it home, and the guy behind you has to concentrate on not losing track position. But it's looking very racy up there. That's a four-way battle there for third position. Going down the order, there's Hockers. He's not too far off the back of that battle, of course, as we know. Next battle on the racetrack is there, as we see TB4 and Matt going at it into turn two. And it's a three-way battle there for sixth position. With we got Book to Boy, it's on for seventh position, sorry, with Book to Boy, Matt and TB4 duking out. So he's being ganged up on at the moment by the two ART boys, trying to strong arm him out of seventh position. But TB4 holding on. I'm saying him. If I do misgender somebody, I don't mean to. By the same token, don't expect me to accept whatever gender you tell me I'm supposed to do. I will go by what I see and what I know. But by the same token, if you are a girl and I've called you a boy, then tell me. So still going on. Matt's still trying to get his way around TB4. That is the front two in, putting Ryan into the lead. Surprised, very, very surprised actually, that Quinny went in when he did. There was nothing wrong with his tyres, but I think he's gone for the old switcheroo in the pits approach. Now, Little Nicky has come out ahead. Fuel-wise, I'm going to call it now. I think Quinny made a mistake going in with him. He had plenty more left on his tyres. I think he could and should have stayed out. He had tyres. He was a little bit lighter on fuel. We'll see. We'll see how this works. It's certainly a much better strategy than Little Nicky had in the last race. This is now your race leader. This is Ryan Bungenol. He is 8 tenths ahead of Hockers, running in second. They're ahead of Matt, running in third. Baz has gone into the pits. Dens has gone into the pits. They were battling for third position previously. Now they're not. Now they're essentially de facto still third and fourth, because of course Ryan and Hockers still need to go in, as does Matt. Book to Boy as well still needs to go in. Any of these going to come in on this lap? No one's pulling left. They're all staying out. That's Little Nicky, and this is not only for track position. You've got to bear in mind that Book to Boy still needs to pit, and Little Nicky already coming past him to take fourth position. He is absolutely on it, and this is the Little Nicky we know and love, the Little Nicky that doesn't make mistakes, the Little Nicky that drives like a demon. And this time he got the strategy spot on. He's got to make sure he manages that fuel to the end. He's got what I think it's going to be a 0-0-0 across the line, but he's now putting pressure on Matt, and Matt of course also still has to pit on those medium compound tyres. So he's looking for a way through. Matt's not doing a huge job of stopping him. He's blocking him from the inside line, which is the most important thing. But he doesn't want to leave too much space around the outside and then Nicky hang those much grippier tyres round the outside of him, as he's going to do now as they head down towards the hairpin through the dreaded penalty line. It's a drag race to the braking zone. No intention of changing gear anytime soon there. He's going to rev the bollocks and let it blow out through the gaskets at the bottom. Here they go into this run now, down to the start-finish line. Do we see Matt go left? No, we don't. So little Nicky in that slipstream, side by side, he pulls out. He's going to make the move down to turn 1. Again, Matt holding the inside line. He does not want to give little Nicky any opportunity. This is great racing from Matt to hold him off. Remember, Matt is on the medium compound tyres and he's deep into this race. But there you see the superiority of that extra grip, and you can see now little Nicky just edging ahead up into third. It's not all done and dusted yet. Looked like there was a little clip, nothing doing. No stewards need to look at that. Put your clipboards away, you annoying stewardy gits. So Ryan still in the lead of this race on the medium compound tyres. He has a set of soft tyres to use. He's 1.6 seconds clear of Hockers, our glorious host this evening. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them pitting here now on lap 15. We've got about 12 laps left, I reckon, 11 or 12 laps left. But the question is going to be, how far ahead is little Nicky going to be? Quinny 1 second behind, so he has closed the gap significantly on little Nicky, but it's whether he can make it count now and start chucking in the lap times. Nicky with a 1:12.1, which is pretty much unsurmountable. So there we go. So Nicky back in the lead, Quinny in second. This battle for third with Baz and Dens and Mad Lad still rages on. It was 2 on 2. It's now 1 on 2 with ART, the worst off of those. And it's all about now how Dens and Baz approach the last 10 minutes of this race. Do they race each other and try and go for the big move on each other? Or do they play this long game now where, you know, if Dens is faster, Baz lets him go. If Baz is faster, Dens holds up Mad Lad. And I think, you know, when you're racing in team competitions, these are the sort of things you want your drivers to be thinking about. Thinking about, you know, you at the end of the day, you want drivers who are aggressive. You want drivers who are fair and clean, but want to win. You want them to have that desire to win. But you also want them to think about the long game. This is a year-long competition. We're going to be doing this once a month until October. You know, it's a long game you're playing here. You want to be getting the points wrapped up early on, and the best way to do that is to make sure your teammates are bringing it home, and that's what Desi's job is right now. So it's all about now. Mad Lad's got to make the move, as Dalton's saying. If he wants to get anything done, he's got to get this job done at the moment. But you can see there's a plethora of cars. There's Hockers and Ryan and Mad Lad all chasing down. Well, actually, Hockers a little bit further back. All chasing down that top 3 position. They're not out and done and dusted yet. We know that Ryan is very capable of chucking in a crazy little living collapse. We'll see in a minute what he's like on the soft compound tyres in comparison to the race leader. Let's go down the order, see where everybody else is. So if we look at the back of the pack, I don't know why I'm going there, wrong button. There we go. It's Toby, 17.3 back from the boy. He's on those soft compound tyres. He's going to have a bit of work to do. He's hitting those 13s, so he's certainly hitting the times, but he lost quite a lot of time on that last lap 16. So he is hitting those 13s, and the lap times are pretty similar. But the boy's just come out of the pits. He's on the soft compound tyres. He's already all over the back of the US driver, Larry Birch, who's got a half-second penalty. He serves that penalty, and it's all very easy for Book to Boy to just breeze past like the winds of change. 1.7 up the road, that's TB4. He's 1.4 behind Matt, kind of sandwiched between those two yellow ART cars at the moment. Matt's some way off the back of Hockers, 7.5 seconds up the road. Hockers not completely out of this battle for third. He's 3 seconds behind his teammate Ryan. Ryan is closing on Mad Lad. Now this is where I was talking about teamwork from the Race Asylum perspective, but now we're looking at what can these ART guys do. So we've seen that Mad Lad has struggled to find his way around Baz to put the pressure on Dens. The gap between them actually is opening up a little bit. Dens just pulling away a little bit from Baz now, because he's obviously Dens has got through and Baz has said, look, off you go, let me hold them up for a while. But yeah, what we need now is we need Ryan. If he can close up on Mad Lad, he's just done a purple going into the final sector. This could be the fastest lap of the race. If he closes up with Mad Lad, and these guys now work together, offering up some slipstream, helping each other along. They're not allowed to pump draft, but a little bit of slipstream and never hurt anybody. But just then closing up that gap, they can put some pressure on Baz. They can hope for a mistake. They can hope that one of them can find a way through. Maybe Mad Lad lets the on-rushing Ryan through to have his attempt at these Race Asylum drivers and try and squeeze himself into the top three. But Little Nicky still, with that 1:11.8, absolutely dominating this race. 3.3 seconds clear. It's almost as though he lives in a caravan at Autopolis and drives this track to work every day wearing a blindfold like a crazed ninja. He's so quick around here. I bet you any money he sits in the bath and just does that bobsled thing like they're doing cool runnings around Autopolis. Don't make race car noises, Andy, it makes you cough. And I'm sorry if I've just given you the picture of Little Nicky sitting in the bath, naked, pretending to drive around Autopolis. I don't know what he looks like, but don't send me a picture now because it will ruin my happy bath time forever. Quiddy he's doing a fabulous job in a 1:12.5 by any stretch of the imagination. On any other day around here is a phenomenal lap, and it's going to get you the fastest lap. But little Nicky, despite his massive absolute clusterfuck mess up with the pits at Suzuka, has been the fastest thing on four wheels all day. He's been absolutely stonking. Dens, short for Denzel Washington. It is the real Denzel Washington, it's true. I've seen a picture. I'm joking. It would be funny if it actually was Denzel Washington. Quiddy's trying, it's going to be hard. Dalton's going to be hard. Little Nicky is on it. So Dens is ahead of Baz. Baz has closed up half a second. Ryan's around Mad Lad now and trying to close down on those Race Asylum drivers, but time is running out. There is just over 5 minutes remaining. Another purple second sector. It seems that he's purple through sectors 1 and 2, but can't get the purple across the line. That said, and there it is, he's managed to get that done at 11.7. So the charge is on. Look at that sea of yellow hunting down those two gold cars. Here he goes now. He's closed within half a second. Already 3 seconds clear of Mad Lad. Mad Lad out of this fight for third. Don't count Ryan out at this stage. I stand corrected about Quiddy. I thought Quiddy was in an absolutely phenomenal position with so much more fuel and tyre available to him. But I think he did Little Nicky. I think he got his pit stop strategy wrong. I think he had a strategy they were already working to, and he didn't change it. Well, I suppose there's no way of knowing what the other guy's got. But I think when you've got that much tyre and fuel, I think stick with it and try something else. Here he goes. He's having a look around the outside. He's right. He knows he's not going to get it done there. It's a long way around that way. He's going to get the run here, though. He's right tucked in that slipstream. There is nothing Baz is going to be able to do to stop him if he can pull out of that slip and use that slingshot to head up the road towards Dens. And Baz has done his job so far. He's held him up as long as he possibly can. Under braking, Ryan up into fourth. Third is his next target right there. That's his target, third place. Dens holding him off. Dens has been phenomenally quick today. It's going to be some crazy battle. There's more tyre available to Ryan. There's more fuel available to Dens. It's a two-way battle now for third place. Little Nicky leads by 3.4 million seconds from Quiddy, who's valiantly valiantly done everything you would expect a driver to do to win at Autopolis. Just can't get it done. Den's there. Currently the sandwich now. Ryan is in a predicament. He's in a sandwich. Can Baz, Bez is the guy from Happy Mondays, isn't it? The one that just used to pop pills and dance. Can Baz close on the back of Ryan and give him something to think about while he's chasing down Dens? Give him enough trouble that he can't quite focus on what he's trying to do. But then saying that, we can see here, if we go on board, closing. There's 2 minutes remaining. Just a couple of laps left here. Up the inside he goes. We look to the right hand side. That's under braking. Den's holding him off. Little touchy. They carry on up the road. This battle is raging like a raging bull. But look at Baz. Baz hasn't given this up either. Baz is on this. Baz is properly getting involved in this battle. He says, you know what, if you two guys are going to fight it out, I'll go and take third. This battle is not over yet. I don't know, I genuinely don't know which driver to sit with, because they're all just doing a phenomenal job. And look at that, it goes horribly wrong for the 2 Race Asylum drivers. And we'll have a look here what happened very quickly. You can see here, there's the move there, and it is almost going 3 wide through that section. Was there any touching? Is that what caused the problem? The 2 Race Asylum drivers actually had it coming together, and it caused them a problem. So the battle, actually, having 2 drivers in that fight has cost them, because they were fighting each other rather than just Ryan. It was such an unfortunate accident from them. They haven't got long now to try and close up. Denzer's got 1 more lap to try and close, but Ryan, I think, has got this job done. Absolutely phenomenal driving, and it took that little coming together. Friendly fire, as Dalton says. Friendly fire, just causing a massive issue there. It's one of those things. When you're in that kind of fight, and between the 2 of them, they've been so equal in pace. I don't think one or the other of them could claim that was me to go and chase that down. They were fighting, and Baz got back involved. Absolute phenomenal battle. Phenomenal racing here at Autopolis, and bearing in mind it is shit to Autopolis, we don't usually expect anywhere near this kind of action, but you know that when Amigos Racing Team and Race Asylum are involved, there's always going to be some fantastic driving on show, and nobody is going to give an inch, a quarter or a mile. Absolutely brilliant driving. Out in front, Little Nicky still leads the way onto the last lap of the race. Quiddy with him. It looks like these 2 guys, Ryan and Dens, will get 1 more lap to give us something to do. Who else is going to make it? Is Baz going to make it across? Baz does make it onto that final lap, as does Hockers, who's had a bit of a charge on this last lap, up into 6th place. Mad Lad, final lap for him as well. He's made it, as has Matt. So Brook to Boy finishes it in 9th. Larry Birch in 10th. Doesn't recreate his heroics from the last race. TB4 home in 11th position. There he is, and 12 seconds back. There's Toby for Race Asylum. 11.8 seconds is his deficit there at the back. But Dalton says it in big letters: don't hit your teammate. That has got to be the fundamental number 1 takeaway from this race, that whatever you do, however the race goes, do not crash into your teammate, because that has cost a podium position for either Dens or Baz. And Hockers, a run to the line between Hockers and Baz. Who's going to get that 5th position? Is it going to be Baz? Is it going to be Hockers? They're side by side through that last corner, and Hockers making that move. That is a massive last lap charge from Hockers. Look at this drag race to the line, across the line. Is it going to be Hockers? Is Baz going to nick it? It was just Hockers over Baz. So what a finish. Absolute stonking last couple of laps there from Hockers. He puts in some phenomenal driving there. Baz home in 6th in the end. It could have been 3rd at one stage. What a finish from those drivers. So close right to the end. There is confirmation of Little Nicky's dominance. He didn't get the fastest lap, but absolutely dominated this racetrack from beginning to end. Took pole position, and nothing changed from that point. He led from start to finish. Quiddy put in a valiant fight to try and catch him. Couldn't make it happen. I've just been handed some Tangfastics. See, she does love me. Ryan is in third and put so much pressure on Dens and Baz, caused the two of them to come together, and what a finish from them. Hockers, Baz, Mad Lad on pad, and Matt round out that top 8. With Book to Boy, Larry Birch, TV4, and Toby coming in 10th, 11th, and 12th. What an absolute stonking finish. Right, we were going to do post-race interviews, but we had the technical problems at the beginning, and I haven't fixed all of them. And one of them is I can't get the Discord back into the broadcast. I have been trying, but I couldn't get it done. So unfortunately, we won't have interviews, which is such a shame after a finish like that. But I'm genuinely blown away with how good that finish was. There's been so many of you joining me for this, and I thank you all for being involved. And I'll tell you what an absolute doozy of a start to the Community Team Cup 2024. Congratulations to Race Asylum and to Amigos Racing Team, because they have set the bar very, very high for everybody else. Really have set it high for everybody else. We don't know what's to come. But if this is even a small taste of what we're going to see over the next few months of this Community Team Championship, then I'll tell you what, it's going to be an absolute doozy. As I said, I can't do the post-race interviews because of my technical issues at the start. I couldn't get that bit fixed. But thank you so much for joining. It's been absolutely phenomenal. I've enjoyed this one much more than I expected to. Well, you know where to find me. I'm always here. Good luck to both teams in this upcoming championship, and I'll hopefully see you next month for a race or two. But I think all the accolades have to go to Little Nicky today, because that was an amazing performance of racing. And a special mention to Ryan is bad for that chase down, and Hockers as well, nicking a couple of positions on that final lap. I'm an UrbanPyrate. This has been Black Flag Racing TV with the Community Team Cup Round 1, race number 1 between Race Asylum and Amigos Racing Team, and it's been emotional.